It's been a pretty wet and wild last few days, but with the wind having subsided out on the main lake area of Lake of the Woods, Gary, Chase, and Chris leave Adrian's resort and the river channel with a new modification to the day's mission.
Number 9 prototype flicker shad going out.
What are you laughing about?
I don't know.
Having had a great deal of success on the number 7 sized flicker shads in the really rough water, now that things are calming down weather-wise, Chase recognizes it's a bit more of an opportune time to get a little more selective in their presentation.
What did he put on? Some prototype bait, something? I don't know. Did you put one of those prototype 9s? That's actually a good idea, except it's not the right color.
Yeah, the purple would be way better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a color we've been getting them on.
Yeah, he said he wanted to put out a mouse, I guess.
Yeah, well, that one's big enough, it's more like putting out a rat.
Yeah.
We're targeting deep walleyes on Lake of the Woods today, and most of the people that fish out here for these fish near these deeper reefs use downriggers. We're using a little bit different technique today. We're actually pulling lead core, a technique that we do when we're fishing a lot of structure, even when we're up shallow sometimes, and this technique is very speed related. But the beauty about using lead core in a situation like this is you can get these smaller baits. We're using number 7 flicker sheds, and purple's definitely been the best color for us, but we're using these smaller baits and are able to get them down to 27, 30, 33 feet, and we're kind of just going back and forth in that transition. Now when you're using lead core, what you want to do is make sure that you're really watching your speed. If you slow down a little bit, those lures are going to sink, they might get snags, so keep an eye on your speed. 18-pound lead core is a great size lead to use for a situation like this. It sinks very fast based on the diameter that it is, but you want to make sure that you couple that lead core with a good rod. Okay, we're running flat lines, actually just 3 flat lines, no boards, directly off the boat, and using a rod that has a good backbone. 2 10-footers out the sides, they're the Walleye Angler ones from Bass Pro, and an 8.5-footer directly out the back middle. Because you're making those turns with quite a bit of lead out, you don't want to get any tangles. So when you're targeting deep fish like this, lead core is a great way to get those baits down and catch a lot of fish. Just saw the rod just pinned against the big outboard.
How far back do you have that one?
180.
Oh yeah, really deep. Kick her down even slower, huh?
No, you're fine. Oh, now he's fighting. Yeah, he's staying down there.
Oh, yeah, nice fish.
He's not bad.
There we go.
Good
All right.
Wow, that's decent fish.
Nice fish.
He stayed down right to the last
He
minute,
did,
too,
you know,
didn't
he didn't fight much, and then he had one little spurt in him, and
Yeah.
kind of went crazy. But yeah, that one came pretty deep. Had that one pretty far back.
On that perch.
But that's always a good thing to see when you look at the rod and it's just pinned down.
Yeah.
You don't even see the bite. Nice fish. Not huge, but they're sure fun to catch when they're this size.
Yeah.
As it would turn out, Chase's decision to upsize in these more favorable conditions works out, and despite all the earlier joshing around, it looks like he owes a thing or two to dear old dad after all, when it comes to having learned matching lures to conditions in regards to a developing
How
How's
does
he?
he feel, Chase?
It feels alright.
That's on that prototype, isn't it?
Oh,
On
yeah.
that 9?
Yep.
That's one of the couple prototypes we've been working on. That's good fish, huh?
Yep.
Oh, I can't hardly believe it. We couldn't hardly get a bite on that color. That's kind of good news.
Hey,
encouraging.
Oh yeah. Well, there we go.
Decent fish, too, huh? Oh, yeah, that is a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you prototype a bait right there. Most companies build them so that they just wiggle. And they won't go ahead and go into the final mode until we give them the check off. And, well, and it's not even us giving them the check off. It's fish just like that checking off. So the baits have got to be out and proven. We did it with every single size, the 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and now the 9's looking pretty good. So far, so good. I guess we got a couple other versions to play with.
Yeah, I'd say.
That's
Take that
pretty
fish
cool.
every day.
topics, leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
We're here with Dirk from Mercury Marine, who just happens to be a prop expert, and we get a tremendous amount of questions about props. People want to know whether they should use stainless steel or aluminum.
Well, that's a question we get very often from anglers. There's really not a hard or fast rule about aluminum is right for everybody or stainless is right for everybody. Each material has its own particular application for a particular kind of angler. One rule, though, I can share with you is typically if we're talking about boats with larger outboards, around 150 horsepower and up, we do definitely recommend putting stainless steel props on those boats. The additional strength of the 15.5 stainless that we put in the propellers is about 5 times stronger than the aluminum. And what that does is it keeps the blades from flexing, so it's going to transmit all that horsepower to the water, give you that top speed, give you that acceleration, and also the holding in turns simply because the blades don't flex. Mercury has a wide variety of different performance designs for different kind of hulls. Some hulls need more bow lift, some hulls need more stern lift. That's why we have the Trophy, the Tempest, the Fury, wide selection of stainless props for different boats, whereas with the aluminum props, it's really just the Black Max is kind of the jack of all trades because of that additional strength you have in the stainless steel prop. I have here one of my props I ran this summer, and you can see here if you look close, there's a couple nicks on the leading edge where my cousin who was fishing for smallmouth ran it through a little rock bed. Now here, this is just little small little nicks. This prop can still work just fine as a new one that would be out of the box. But if that was an aluminum propeller, that would have folded the ear over. It would have meant the engine would have been vibrating like crazy, and it would have meant a day off the water.
But on the topic of durability, though, a lot of people assume with a stainless steel prop, if you hit rocks, that you're actually going to ruin the whole lower unit.
Absolutely, we hear a lot of that, and that's really actually a bit of a thing of the past, and that's because of the Flow Torque 2 system we have on the inside of the prop up. This is what we call the weekend saver. It's our Delrin sleeve, and basically what this sleeve does is it acts as a shock absorber. So if the propeller encounters an obstruction, what this plastic piece does is it sacrifices itself, protecting all the gears in the lower unit, and then all you have to do is simply idle home, because it still will allow you to get home safely.
Okay.
Take the prop off, slide out this plastic sleeve, slide in a new one. It's about a $5 part, and then you're back on the water.